Let's read a book with Teacher Clau. So, come on, let's start.
Hola a todos. Antes de que lean este cuento, quiero que tomen un dato en consideración. Como pueden ver, estoy en el proceso final de los frenillos. Por ende, tengo los frenillos y un aparato aquí en la boca que lo que hace es prevenir que mi lengua toque los dos dientes de adelante, que es uno de los movimientos más importantes del idioma inglés para la pronunciación. Entonces, con eso en cuenta, quiero que sepan que algunas palabras pueden que no suenen tan claras o como la pronunciación pues perfecta que debería ser. Pero recuerden que en el canal tenemos todo un playlist con más de 200 lecturas de cuentos donde pueden practicar la pronunciación en inglés, y en esos pues no tengo estos aparatos en la boca. Entonces, con esa consideración vamos a iniciar la lectura.
Today we are going to read The Dinosaur Who Discovered Hamburgers, Part 2, Cutting the Big Cheese. Scott the dinosaur was very happy with the discovery of hamburgers. Even since that day, Scott had become the most famous dinosaur to have ever lived. Scott appeared on talk shows and was celebrated by dinosaurs everywhere. One day, Scott was sailing to the opening of a new hamburger restaurant on an island nearby when a terrible storm took the boat off course. Scott fought hard to try and keep the boat afloat while the waves threw it side to side. The heavy rain, crashing waves, and the night sky made it difficult to see, until suddenly Scout's boat was washed ashore. Scout awoke on a desolate island in an ancient part of the world that had not been explored for thousands of years. The island was full of wonder. Scott grabbed the trusty adventure gear and set off. Scott walked by beautiful sandy beaches, pushed through spiky edges, and paddled through rushing river rapids. Scott finally reached what looked like a jungle full of trees, but there was a strange smell in the air. Scott picked what looked like some kind of odd fruit, but was surprised that it was actually smelly and gooey. Of course, these were aged cheese trees. Excitedly, Scott tasted and thought to take a sample of the smelly cheese and continue the adventure. Scott then began to climb a mountain and found all of the adventure gear was getting covered with something blue. Upon inspection, Scott realized it was cheese that was covering everything. Of course, this was a blue cheese mountain. Intrigued by this, Scott collected some of the blue cheese and ventured on. Next, Scout found a meadow covered by gorgeous white shimmer. Of course, these were white cheese lilies. Scott grabbed a bushel and kept going. Finally, Scott stumbled upon a hidden cave with a mysterious glow coming from within. Scout entering saw a golden wheel at the end of the room shining brightly like a piece of gold. Scout started to walk closer and noticed there were strange markings on the floor. Scout stepped on one. Whoosh! An arrow shot out from the wall and narrowly missed. The room was set with traps. Scott had to avoid the traps and get to the end of the room. Scout got to the end and came up to the large golden wheel. Scott couldn't believe it. The legend was true. Of course, this was the great wheel of cheddar cheese. It was written about in history books, but Dinosaur thought it was just a myth. Scott cut a piece of cheese to taste it. Now that was really something, unlike anything Scott had ever tasted before. The melty, gooey, cheesy goodness of the cheddar cheese had to be shared with the world. Scout cut a big round piece of the great wheel of cheddar cheese and headed back. Scott had a long way back home, through the cave, to the white cheesy meadow, down the blue cheese mountain, past the aged cheese trees, paddling through the rushing river rapids, pushing past the spiky edges, and walking again along the sandy beaches to the boat. Scott got the boat back in the water and navigated the ship back home. Scott got back into the kitchen and set up a cheese board with all of the different cheeses that had been discovered. Scott invited Dr. G. Burger, Dr. Ham's cousin, who was an expert scientist in all things cheesy and delicious. They tried all the different types of cheese and took notes about how they taste and what they can be paired with. Some cheeses were better with crackers, some were better with fruit, and some were just better on their own. But Dr. Chi asked Scout to make one of those famous hamburgers everyone loved, to taste something out. As Scout began to put the ingredients together, Dr. Chi put a new ingredient into the mix: bun, ketchup, pickles, bacon, cheddar cheese, patty, mustard, and bun. Dr. Chi had cut the cheese without Scott realizing. They both tried the new hamburger and looked at each other in disbelief. It was so delicious that they didn't know what to say except, "The world needs to try this." The next day, Scout went to another talk show and introduced the new hamburger to the world. It became all the rage, and dinosaurs from all around the world had to try this new variation. Upon taking a bite, the critics were amazed by the taste and immediately gave it another 6 claws way up. When Scout was asked what this new burger would be called, Scout said, "The cheese burger." After all, Dr. Chi Burger put cheese in the burger. Everyone was amazed by Scout's genius. With the approval of Dr. Chi and the Velociraptor food guide, Scout discovery became the talk of the town. From that day on, hamburgers with cheddar cheese were enjoyed by all the dinosaurs in the world, and Scott was celebrated as a true culinary adventurer. Scout felt happy and complete. The perfect dish was even better, and all was right in the world.
¿Te gustó esta lectura? Pues dale like y suscríbete al canal. Recuerda que tienes una lista de reproducción donde encontrarás más de 200 lecturas para practicar el idioma inglés. También tenemos otras listas de reproducción como vocabulario, tiempos verbales, facial verbs y demás. Así que hazle clic en la campanita para que no se te olvide ninguna notificación que yo haga. Ahora, si quieres clases de inglés con Teacher Clau, pues entra a www.teacherclau.com y encontrarás todos mis cursos. Así que nos vemos muy pronto.